So I guess moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Biggest disappointments and stars of Summer League so far. There's been a few disappointments, and they're not by rookies.
I can't honestly say that the Summer League makes disappointments, losers, if you will. I can't honestly say that it makes losers or winners.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't put much stock into the Summer League, but for me, Josh Jackson was a huge disappointment. He even said himself that for second-year players, going into your second Summer League is you need to show out and show your improvement. And so far, his numbers have dropped like drastically off a cliff. Everything's fallen off by. He went from 17 points to 10. He went from 9 rebounds to 4 or 2, and then he has twice as many turnovers as assists and shooting 24%. Like that is a disappointment. Like that, what are you doing? He was averaging what, like 20 points per game at after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And now you're playing against like just above college level players, and you're doing
above college in between D.
Yeah, you're doing this. That is a disappointment.
Right.
While I understand you could bounce back when it comes to the actual season, it's still not encouraging to see this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I agree. Josh Jackson definitely did not perform up to par. I can't say I'm super disappointed in him because I honestly wasn't a huge fan of him when he got drafted. I still think he'll be a decent player, but I know primarily he is a defensive-minded player. So his offensive stats I can't take too much into. Fuck. I can't take it too much into account because he. Maybe it's the hair, honestly.
Yeah,
it
cut off the hair and you cut off his stats.
You know what I'm saying? Cut off his swag, cut off his confidence.
I don't know. It's just.
Well, who else do you have as a loser?
Dragon Bender. But
who's your top 5?
My top 5 losers. I have 3 off the top of my head that really stick out to me. It's TJ Leaf, Dragon Bender, and then Josh Jackson.
So I agree with Bender and Jackson, but why TJ Leaf?
I mean,
he was
Leaf's whole season was a disappointment, and now even in the Summer League, he's not doing anything. He's 6'10", decently athletic, and he just played a whole NBA season, and he's not doing anything in the Summer League.
He went to Michigan, yeah?
No, he went to UCLA.
Oh yeah, he did because LeVar was cheating on him.
Yeah.
I mean, LeVar knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Lonzo made him.
Yeah, maybe
Lonzo
he did.
made all those players.
He did, honestly. Who rounds out your top 5? Bottom 5, actually, I guess I should say.
Bottom 5. I don't know. I don't follow Summer League that intensely.
Okay.
So for me, for what I would have followed, those are the 3 that stuck out to me. It's all second-year players. For rookies, I don't put much emphasis on Summer League because we've seen players do amazingly in Summer League, go into the league and be trash. We see people do trash in Summer League and go into the league and start great. So for a rookie, it's not a good telltale of what they're going to be. But for a second-year player, I think that it is more. It means a little bit more because you have your experience. You know what to do. You've been here and you've done this before.
Right. See, that's why I couldn't even make really a list of losers because, like I said, I don't like to classify winners and losers in Summer League. But 2 people who I can distinctly say were losers couldn't even make a top 5. But 2 people were 1 Josh Jackson, like you said, and 2 Dragon Bender, like you said. Dragon Bender especially is a ginormous disappointment, man. He's going into his 4th year. Yeah. He's about to end his rookie contract, still playing in the Summer League. You got 4th pick in the draft. 4th pick in the draft. 4 years later, still playing in the Summer League. You got people drafted late lottery last year, not playing in the Summer League. You got people drafted this year, not playing in the Summer League, i.e. Luka Doncic. And both foreign players, Doncic and Bender, and yet Bender's in his 4th year, and he's not only is he playing in the Summer League, he's disappointing in the Summer League. I don't know what he's exactly averaging, but every single time I look at the stat line, he put up like 5 points, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, it's always,
and I'm sitting there like, dog, you know you're 7 foot, you can shoot, you're somewhat of an athlete, and you're 4 years in the league.
He shoots alright. He averages 4%. It's alright. He can be trusted.
Big though.
He can be trusted, but it's not.
And it's
not
his 4th year. It's just honestly, he's looking like he's gonna be a washout of the NBA.
Yeah.
Because I don't see why any other team would take a chance on him unless he's willing to sign for the absolute minimum. In terms of Summer League losers, I can't really say losers. I can just say people who have disappointed me, but not are per se losers. So you got Ayton. Now Ayton did play great, but he didn't solidify why he was the number one pick, because I think he got outplayed by Wendell Carter Jr. Yeah, Wendell Carter Jr. And it's a toss up, but maybe he didn't. But he didn't establish that he was
he didn't
the
show
better
that
player.
he was the
No debate. He put up great
one pick in the draft.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he hasn't been playing bad.
But he hasn't been playing bad.
It hasn't been like he's been putting
He's
up
not
no
a loser,
numbers.
but he's not a winner because he's the number one pick, and he should have established.
He just
himself
hasn't
as that.
solidified his place.
Right.
He should have.
I got Bagley in that list at as well, because he came out the gates with a great starting game, and then since then kind of fell off, and he got hurt. So I saw a lot of flashes of some very tantalizing skills in there that could serve the Kings very well. It gave me a little bit of hope as to why they drafted him number 2. Then I got Trae Young in there, who, if he didn't have those outbursts towards the end of the summer league, he would have been a loser.
Been awful.
But even with the outbursts, he still wasn't efficient. He just started getting more buckets, but it wasn't efficient. And he did even start shooting a little bit less too, making on those later games
shooting a little bit
less, right?
Facilitating more and getting more
Exactly.
assists. So he improved definitely.
Right.
But
He get one game 23 and 11.
Yeah.
Best game of the summer league. So of his summer league, not overall. But then I got Henry Ellison in there, who you could say was a loser, but he had that last game that was a big outburst. But that's one game that can't really save your entire summer league season, especially because he didn't carve out a role for himself on this Pistons upcoming roster.
No, he just kind of was there.
Right.
He'll get minutes, but he didn't carve out a role like, okay, we have to put this player in.
And he's a stand-in gunny pick as well, so I don't know why Dwayne Casey would play him, but he's a young guy and they have him for 3 years, so
might as well.
And then surprisingly was Bamba. He showed a lot of great defensive chops, and that's why they drafted him. But that was about it. Like all those training clips he showed of him doing all this work. You saw it in that first game when he made a 3, he made some couple outside shots, and then he got worked by Ayton. And he had some games that were good defensively, but then he got hurt too and couldn't really show out.
Yeah. He's a very unpolished player.
Right.
They drafted him off potential for his size and his athleticism. So for him, I'm not really surprised if he doesn't show his offensive skill set. He has more than enough time to develop that.
Sure.
He has the talent and natural ability that I think he can. So it's hard for me to say that he disappointed me. I think he lived up to. He could have only exceeded my expectations. Let's put it that way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he'll do anything amazing in his rookie year. Maybe not even in his sophomore season. I think he'll be good defensively for those 2 years.
Sure.
I don't think he'll have a reason to be on the court, but if he's going to be a star, it's going to be later. It's going to take time for him to develop.
My thing is, so I know he's working with Drew Hansen, and I remember when Joel Embiid was working his way back from his injury, and he started posting those workout videos with Drew, and everybody's like, "Oh, bro, this is just fake. Like, he's just dunking on regular people. Like, he ain't nothing." And then he came in the league and dominated, right?
Yeah.
And so then when Bamba was posting those same videos, and then when Bamba was posting videos of him playing one-on-one with Joel and Jason Tatum, I'm like, okay, maybe he got some in the tank. So on Summer League, that's not players on Tatum and Joel's level.
Yeah.
So I thought, in the league he may not be putting up buckets, but in the Summer League he could. And that first game, it showed me that he could. After that, he fell off until he got hurt. So, and I don't know why so many players got hurt this year. I don't know if they were just being rested, if they actually really got hurt.
Probably a little both. Probably it's a small injury and they're just like, all right, we don't.
Right, it's Summer League, you don't really need to. But I just had my expectations were higher for him. Yeah. After those videos. If I had never seen that video straight coming from the draft, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he played what I thought he would do.
Okay, I feel that, yeah.
So who are your winners?
My 2 biggest winners so far are Shai
Gilgeous, baby. Yeah. Clippers, baby. LAC, baby.
He's putting up 19, 4, and 2. As he was the 12th or 13th?
Well, he was the 12th. No, he's 11th, actually, because he was drafted by the Hornets and we traded up together.
Okay, yeah. So the 11th pick, and he's balling. He's doing really well. But my biggest winner is Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
He had that 29-point game, and he just passes all the checklists on the eye test.
Absolutely.
He's 6'9", long, athletic, has a feel for the offense. Mm-hmm. It's just, I think the Knicks really got another good one.
They got another Chris Stapps. Every time the Knicks fans boo the player they draft, turns out to be a great player. so far.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking because it is summer league. So we saw Lonzo dominate summer league, and he could shoot, and then he went to the NBA and he can no longer shoot.
That's fair.
So it's a big jump in the mental aspect of the game from summer league to the NBA.
Sure.
So it's hard to really put a lot of weight, but if he shows out like what it's looking to be, then they got one.
My thing about especially Knox is this upcoming season with Kristaps being hurt, Knox is going to be pretty much the fulcrum of that offense. Because, yeah, you could give the ball to Tim Hardaway Jr., but if he's the main focal point of your offense, you're not going to be a good team. Now, the same could be said for Knox, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But because his age, because he doesn't even turn 19 till next school year, if you make him the fulcrum of your offense now and you get him those touches, that experience, when Kristaps comes back, you have a bona fide second option. And that's before, and he's comfortable with the ball and with NBA defenses. And that's before, if and only if Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler get there. Because then if they have Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving, Knox, Nikola and Kristaps, who all play different positions and could all have been, because Nikola will need, because he also was pretty good in the summer league as well before he went out, but he was a second-year player, so I can't say he's a winner, but he was pretty good. So if he's more of a focal point, especially with Dave Fizdale, that only bodes well for the Knicks. Even if they don't win any games, they get another high draft pick, but Knox and Nikola get more comfortable. Kristaps comes back, they may get some free agents. They could have a really great 2019 free agency and a really great 2020 season.
Definitely. The Knicks are in the best position they've been in like 6 years since Carmelo.
Absolutely. And because Knox is showing this, I'm not saying he will do this in the NBA, but it shows he has that dog in him that can be your main focal point.
He wants to compete. He wants to dominate. He wants to show that he is the best.
Exactly.
He is the man.
Exactly. And so since he's already doing that, displaying that now in the league, even though it's going to be harder, you already know he can do it. So
he wants it. He has the right mental going into it. He's not scared.
Exactly.
Hopefully, but I don't think he is either. He looks, when you see him out there, he doesn't look the slightest bit frightened.
Right.
He looks like he just wants it, and he expects the best from himself.
Right. So who's the bottom three of your top 5 winners? Round it out.
I didn't have 5. I just had those 2. Those 2 are the 2 that really showed out to me. I guess I could put Colin Sexton up there. He showed that he could still do well. He's averaging like 18. So probably those 3 have been my 3 like favorite rookies. Like
Shea, Knox, and Colin.
But it's summer league. So.
I will agree with Colin. But my top 5 is going so Knox, Shea, Wendell Carter Jr. He surpassed my expectations fully.
Yeah.
Bamba didn't, Carter did.
Yeah.
Especially Carter being drafted later and having been playing behind Bagley all season for his collegiate season, so I didn't get as much of an exposure to him as I would have liked. But now seeing him ball where he gets a feature role, his last game he put up 16 rebounds. I've seen games where he's put up like 4 or 5 blocks with a couple steals. He's put up a 20-point game, I think. He's honestly, he's putting up great assist numbers. He's a more athletic version of Horford, and it's lovely.
It's God, yeah.
And so with the Bulls, I thought they made a terrible draft on that pick. I was wrong all around in the NBA draft this season, and I thought the Bulls made a terrible pick on him because I was like, you should take Porter even if it means waiting. And they passed on him, but Wendell Carter is looking like he could be a great fit next to Markkanen.
Yeah. Because he's more defensive and athletic, and Markkanen can stretch the floor.
Exactly.
And it's
just perfect compliments. Yin and the yang.
It's exactly what you need in your bigs. You need, if you can't get the best of both worlds like Kristaps, you need one that can stretch it and one that can be your lockdown defender.
So now here's the dilemma though, with Jabari Parker coming on board. Where
do you got to start Jabari?
Well, we that's in our later segment, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I also had Jaren Jackson up there. He was very mercurial. He was really inconsistent. He started off really strong with a 29-point outburst, 8 threes.
Yeah.
His last game, his finishing game, he put up 7 blocks. He almost had a triple-double with blocks and rebounds and points. So he's had games where you're like, okay, this is an NBA stud. He just hasn't had it consistently, but that's fair because he's young. He's younger than you and I, and we're young guys, so he's got time.
It's just for rookies in the summer league, I just like to show that they're capable.
Right, exactly. And
that's
all these
I
guys
can
are showing
say.
that they're capable.
If you come to the summer league and you do nothing, that's when it's
Right,
bad. But
right.
I'm not gonna get mad at you for not dominating every game.
Sure,
As
sure.
long as you show, as long as you have your moments and
Right.
show that there was a reason why you
Right.
got drafted at the
Exactly.
position that you got drafted.
Then my last winner, so I didn't have actually Colin on mine, but I do agree with you for being winner. My last winner is Josh Hart. He finished the year really strong for the Lakers and just came out the gates in the Summer League firing. He probably should get Summer League MVP this year, in my opinion. Even though I don't think they'll win the championship for him to get it. But do you have to get it to win the championship to get Summer League MVP?
No.
Because I'm not familiar with how that works. But he just was a beast, honestly. And he needed to be, because people are saying he is the fourth member of that core of the Lakers. And he only proved it in one half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just great to see, because next season you'll be like, okay, he had a great end of the year. Obviously he was working during the summer. He probably can come out firing. I'm sure LeBron loves to see it, Magic loves to see it, all of the teammates love to see it. I even like to see it, and I'm not a Lakers fan.
And he's the prime example of why Josh Jackson is a loser or a disappointment, because
Josh.
they're polar opposites of the spectrum. Like, that's what you need to see from your NBA players, that they come out and they hoop on all these young guys and show them, welcome to the NBA.
Right,
This is what it's like. But if you go out there and you just do what Josh Jackson did, you're a disappointment. So
now
it's nice to see that Josh Hart's doing that, and he's solidifying himself.
Sure. It's especially with them being polar opposites too. It's crazy because one was drafted 4, one was drafted 2nd round.
Yeah.
One was a featured member of his entire team the whole season. Yeah. One was not until the entire later half of the season when they were just giving up.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hart, I want to say during the season played a little bit better just because he was next to Booker and T.J. Warren.
Josh
Jackson, yes. Yeah. And so he had defensives not focusing in on him as much, as well as if he wasn't playing a contending team, that team was going for ping pong balls anyway. So it was a little bit easier for him to get some buckets on the NBA.
Yeah, I feel like Josh Jackson just doesn't have the mental mind, just the mindset of a star in this league. I feel like he could be a good player, but I don't think he could ever be a star. I don't think he has that chip on the shoulder like Josh Hart, because you explained it perfectly. Like, one was picked late and one wasn't the focal point, and I think it really lent that itself to Josh Hart, that he made him want it. He made him want to show that I belong in this league.
Right.
But for Josh Jackson, he was picked for it, and they're just like, okay, you're going to start, and you're all this time, and you can do whatever you want because we're going to lose anyway.
Exactly.
So there's not much pressure on you, and I just feel like even before the draft, when the Celtics were interviewing him, and he just didn't seem like he really wanted it, or he just seems like he was happy with being an NBA player and making all this money.
Yeah, he
Not
did.
that he loves basketball and wants to be this championship.
That was the because he was supposed to. I digress here, but he was supposed to come to Michigan State actually, and he spurned them in favor of going to Kansas. That's where he went.
Yeah, it was Kansas.
And it's because he doesn't have that love for the game. He has that love for, okay, I don't want to play my heart out and like win and go to war with my brothers. I just want to make money, which is fair. If you have the talent to do it, do it. But teams need to be aware of that's the mentality of your player before you draft them. You feature in these focal points, especially because they could have traded him for Kyrie. And if they had Kyrie at this point with Booker, I mean, they wouldn't have this. They wouldn't have Ayton because they wouldn't have that pick. But still, Kyrie with Booker.
That's raw. Those are
that's
two,
a raw.
two
That's a
of the
raw
best
team.
young guards in the league.
So they would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. And they probably still would have Mikal Bridges because they had that pick and that wasn't theirs. That second one that they used to trade for Mikal. So they would have a decent squad, but. Yeah, I think it's honestly with Josh Hart, his want for it could be indicative of his character, but it honestly could just be a bigger example of just the Lakers culture. As much as it pains me to admit this, because as an avid Laker hater, he is surrounded by young guys who all are, the league is talking about all these young guys, but they're all close, they're homies, they're brothers, and so he's like, these are my boys, and I want to do this with my boys. He's not just in a locker room at whatever 20 years old with a bunch of 30-year-old dudes who he's like, I don't
they're
relate
like,
with
oh,
y'all.
I'm gonna go fucking
Right.
fishing with my
Exactly,
wife.
right.
And you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to
He's
the
like,
club.
right.
Like
People always
yeah.
say you need to have vets so that they have leadership. And yes, you do, but
Yeah.
I love how, because the lack of vets that the Lakers had this past season, they did have some vets, but they didn't have as many vets as they had young guys. And the young guys were so featured heavily because it's the Lakers in mainstream media. It made him say, okay, I got game, but I'm gonna bring it up a notch because I want to stay with my boys. You know, I want to go to war with my boys. I don't want to go to war with some grown ass men. I don't want to go to war with LeBron. I want to go to war with Kuzma. I want to go to war with
with
Bosman,
your friends.
Lonzo.
It's easier. I guess it's easier to play for your friends because
Exactly.
you truly enjoy them as a human. So you have a better relationship.
Exactly.
So you want to see them succeed as well as you want to
Exactly.
succeed. When you're just playing with someone you don't know, it's like, all right, whatever. Like,
Right.
I don't give a fuck about you. Like,
It's a Josh Jackson scenario. Even though he had a lot of young guys around him, it's still like, I don't really care. I'm just here to get paid. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Because I doubt he had Josh Jackson had friends in that son's locker room.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like someone that would get along with the other people.
He does not. He does
Yeah.
not. So if you have anything else to say,
No, just
no.
like
Yeah.
we saw a lot of stars, but we saw a lot of potential in the summer league. So it's good to know that the NBA is in a good place going forward with a lot of talent coming in, and it'll be exciting.
Absolutely.
So it's just nice to see that.
Absolutely.